Kilograms weight loss story. While I was in the long-term relationship of 6 years with my ex, who I met working at the supermarket, I started putting on weight because of three different reasons. One reason for my weight gain was caused by stress. Also, from being on contraception. I put the implant in my arm, which I had for around a year or something. I also drank alcohol back then too, which contributed to the weight gain. Another reason I put on weight is because I ate unhealthy food when I lived with my ex. We didn't eat proper meals except Sunday night dinners, which his mum cooked. I was in denial as I was putting on weight. I kept buying larger clothes, but I kept telling myself that the new clothes aren't that much bigger. The implant made me put on weight fast, and I had stretch marks on my hips. My butt and breast muscles became loose and jelly-like. I think the muscles became weak, and I had water built up in my body. Other effects from being on contraception is it emotionally took away my creative life force energy and made me feel like a zombie, just observing life with minimal emotions. When I came off contraception, all my emotions came back, and I could feel joy again, but also anger, which was a downside. Another thing the contraception caused was I was always lethargic and lazy. I couldn't breathe deep either. I later discovered that I also had fluke worms, which was also affecting my breathing. When I started exercising, I also tried detoxing my body, and fluke worms came out. After they were expelled from my body, the swelling I had under my breasts disappeared. It looked like a roll of fat, and it must have been where the fluke worms were hiding. I had to lose the weight from all the water and fat built up from contraception and eating bad. When I started losing weight, my true self came back, and I could feel joy for life gain. Also, I felt attractive again. As I put on weight, I started developing jealousy because my ex had a thing for skinny Asian women. I was young, emotionally damaged from my upbringing, and my emotions were overreactive. My jealousy was the worst feeling you could emotionally experience. I didn't trust my ex, and I was clingy too. My ex used to make me jealous on purpose, flirting with the Asian co-workers. They would flirt back with him to upset me as well. My ex used to go to his best friend's house a lot. His friend would bully me by putting me down, and once he poked my stomach and said, "When is it due?" My ex turned a blind eye to his bullying and encouraged it by not stepping in to protect me. He didn't ever stand up for me in any situation. His friend was also trying to get my ex to date Thai women from Thailand from his computer, right in front of me. One reason my ex kept going to his friend's house was to help him with computer issues and teaching him how to use computer programs. I hated going there. My ex didn't give me a choice. I felt like I had better things to do with my time rather than hang around at his house, being a waste of space. I had to do everything he wanted to do and go everywhere he wanted to go. Another example of that is he made me work with him at the supermarket on my day off, and I didn't get paid for it either. Some incentive and mean customers at my supermarket job would make nasty comments on my size and say nasty remarks. For example, they would say, "When is it due? And how far along is it? Is it a boy or a girl?" I would end up crying at work quite often. Not just because of the nasty comments, but also workplace bullying, which I talk about in the retail job chapter. The bullying contributed to my unhealthy eating because of stress. When I was 30 kilograms heavier, I used to go into fashion boutiques and the clothes wouldn't fit me. One time I remember I walked out of a store and burst out crying. I didn't realize I was as big as I was because I was in denial. I felt discriminated against for my size because why can't plus size women buy clothes from nice boutiques? And I took it personally. Another mindset which contributed to my weight gain was, when I was growing up, I had to eat all the food on my plate. Mum and Dad lived in the lack mentality. I got into huge trouble if I didn't eat all my food. One reason I ate unhealthily, after leaving my parents' house and living with the ex, is because I wanted to catch up on everything I was deprived of as a kid. My ex was addicted to junk food and McDonald's. When we did our shopping, we would fill up the trolley with chips, biscuits, and sweets. Also microwave meals, which are full of sodium and sugar. I was quite unhealthy at that time in my life, mentally and physically. I had no idea back then that food can affect you in different ways. I was arrogant and thought I had a fast metabolism too. During living with him, I got diagnosed with celiacs. One reason I probably got celiacs was from a bad immune system from being in a stressful emotional state constantly. I talked about already how I used to wear baggy jackets to hide my body. Well, that got worse when I put on weight. I wore jackets all the time. Wearing them made me feel safe and comfortable. To this day, even after losing 30 kilograms and keeping it off for years, I am still self-conscious every now and then and don't like being stared at for too long. If I'm out in public, sometimes I either walk fast to avoid people, or I just don't spend too long anywhere. I still wear jackets on the days I feel vulnerable or self-conscious. Once my ex and I went on a mountain hike with his brother and his brother's friends. When we were walking up the hill, my ex said how I looked like an elephant on stilts when I wore high heels. He was humiliating me in front of everyone, also walking in front of me like I was a dog following him, which he did a lot. I felt sad the whole hike. He ruined it for me. I felt so ugly when he said that. He didn't want to walk next to me or hold my hand, and it hurt my feelings every time he treated me like that. After the hike that day, he went to McDonald's. I didn't eat anything because I had celiacs. He didn't take me to a place with gluten-free food. He just said I can eat when I get home because I don't really need the food and how there's no time to get me some food. My ex was naturally thin, and he could get away with eating McDonald's all the time. We always went to McDonald's. It made me cry on the inside because he wouldn't take me to a place I could eat at. He wouldn't let me spend my money anyway. I was upset as well because I was triggered that he didn't eat my home-cooked meals I made. Mum said once that I must lose weight to look good wearing high heels. That knocked my confidence down extremely low because I thought, how could my own mother say that to me? I used to wear high heels before I put on weight, and I loved wearing them. Even today, after losing weight, I feel self-conscious wearing high heels. The reason is because those words people have said to me still linger in my mind, and I wonder if I look good in heels anymore. I know I look good in heels when I look in the mirror, but deep down I still feel like an elephant, which I know isn't true. Near the end of my relationship with the ex from the supermarket, my ex started playing mind games even worse. He was angry at me for exercising and losing weight. He didn't want me to have confidence. Also, towards the end of the relationship, I started ignoring his treatment towards me, and I just zoned out to him and his mind games. He didn't affect me anymore. He started saying I was losing my assets, butt and breasts, from losing weight even though he didn't like my body. I eventually lost 30 kilograms after leaving my ex, from size 16 Australian dollars to size 8 Australian dollars. I felt so proud of myself and accomplished. It took a total of 3 years to lose 30 kilograms. I'm size 10 Australian dollars now because I have muscle weight, and I feel healthy at this size. I still work out to keep fit, and I still do parasite detoxes every now and then. After losing weight, my body assets started to become firm again, and my body became beautiful again. I was so happy walking into fashion boutiques and buying clothes I liked again. I felt so proud of myself and went on a shopping spree to reward myself. I'm so glad I can look back at the old me and feel relief that I'm no longer that person anymore. Being that version of myself was necessary, but because I had to heal my inner child. And going through that experience has helped me see what my own issues were and to face them. I am healed and emotionally mature now. I love myself and respect myself. I'm independent and happy. Being single has helped me heal myself so much too. I've had time to reflect on my old self and toxic behaviors. I know thyself now and I feel strong and knowledgeable. I can see toxic patterns in men and avoid going on a date with them, which is one advantage from all the bad experiences I went through. My story